Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and yes, that is not a surprise, we are still playing A Sky Full of Stars. It's a lengthy game, now that I think about it. And we are still on the first playthrough? To get first route? And so on and so on. Anywho, let's see where this is going. We are going to the past once again of Akito to see what was happening when he was like way younger. Maybe not way younger, I mean, it's only been 4 years difference, right? Anyway, I'd been walking back home from and after graduation. Hikari had been sitting on the bridge's guardrail, her head hanging down. When she noticed me walking toward her, she looked up. At the time, Hikari and I hadn't been on good terms with each other. It had been over 2 months since we'd spoken. Ow. Graduation was over and Hikari and her family were moving away the next day. This would be farewell. Thinking about that was painful, but I still couldn't bring myself to get past my feeling of betrayal. I decided to ignore her as I walked past. What do you want? Hikari handed me an envelope with a bunny sticker on it. What's this? Without giving me time to say anything, Hikari turned and ran off. Love letter. Dude, she totally made it like it was from her. Come on. Hinami spun her phone around to show me the screen. It was displaying a popular video site. Korona came over to see what was going on as well. Hinami pressed the play button and the video started. Football, I mean American football. The video was a football game, American football. I thought it would... What? I thought it was one of those top place videos or something, but then a uniformed high school girl suddenly appeared. She snatched up the ball as it fell and sprinted off down the field, her pigtails waving behind her. She weaved through the giant linebackers as she went on to score an amazing touchdown. Which I bet did not count, but... What is this? Say what? Seeing the dumbfounded look on my face, Hinami proudly began to play back more videos for us. There was a video of her running alongside a herd of wild bees, and another of her stealing a grazing chicken from some farm and sprinting off with it. Another one showed her saving a kitten from a raging battlefield. It looked well made, but I couldn't figure out why there would be a cat on a battlefield full of bullets, lasers, missiles for... Why not? I mean, I think it's not really that uncommon, sadly. The pigtail high school girl gallantly ran out to save the kitten, dodging laser fire and explosions. Somebody had spent a lot of time making the video. Some? That's great, but what are they? I mean, okay, but still. The Comet Girl meme. I couldn't do anything but just repeat what she'd said. I thought that had already died down. Nah. Let's go. Inami pointed at the number of views. Over 10,000! God damn it, I'm so jealous. That's not Akito saying, that's me saying that, okay? I wish. Hinami was getting excited and her breathing sped up as she spoke. I still didn't understand viral videos or memes, but I had to admit that they were really well made.
Hikari, すごいね。どんどん有名になってくじゃん。
If only we could get that many people to click over to the Project Starlight page. Right. The site had been getting a steady trickle of hits since it had gone live. When decided to make flyers, we'd also discussed doing some PR, online PR as well. Someone had even suggested as an explanatory video for the site. After seeing the views of these videos, though, I could feel my motivation dropping. Why? Dude, I'm surprised you are not trying to... I'm surprised they didn't try from the very first one, to be honest. They didn't try to use the whole situation as some kind of promotion. But hey.
よくできていますね。どうやって作っているんでしょう?
The power of video editing. Dude, but now that I think about it, it wasn't even on a green screen, right? Obviously. It must have been a pain. That's something I don't know how to do actually now. Now that I think about it. If you give me something on the green screen or whatever, just one plain color. Let's go. One plain color background. It's doable for me. But... yeah. If you were to cut something out like this, oof. I actually wouldn't probably be able to. Unless I would have some time. Which I wish I did. Anyway.
マット職人がいるのです。コメットガールが走るところは切り抜いて、グリーンバックにしたものが配布されていますので。
That's true as well. I mean, still. But, you know, the cutting out is the problem. Some people must really love this sort of thing to spend so much time on it for no profit. Actually, you don't know. I mean, dude. Are you sure no profit? I wouldn't be so sure about that.
天の川先輩もどうぞご覧になってください。
So, sitting in the corner of the room, reading Astronomy magazine, Hikari started over the phone, held out proudly.
コメットガール先輩が大活躍していますよ。
In a way, I moved to stop here, but I was too slow. So I looked up at Hikari with serious look on her face.
私、忙しいの。そういうのは後にしてもらっていいかな。
Wow, Sayar, you're such an asshole. I get not wanting to interact with Hikari, I guess, but... again, it was all your fault.
すみません。
And how about you don't take this on others? God damn it. I knew from the very beginning you were a terrible person. Inami shrunk back in fear as Saya returned her attention to her magazine. Saya hadn't even the slightest smile as she spoke.
さやさん、どうなさったんですか?
What do you mean? She's trash. Didn't you know from the very beginning you've met her? She and Hikari had a fight.
いつもあんなに仲良くなさってたのに? 仲良くなんかないもん。
I wish I could say the same thing about you, but unfortunately you were forced on us in this game.
ごめんなさい。
And how dare you scream at Onoka? How dare you? Now Onoka was shrinking back in fear as well. Sorry, I'm sure you didn't mean that, do you? I said it softly like a father who hadn't spoken to his adolescent daughter in a few months and was trying to patch things up. She had hidden prickly like this for a while now. So annoying. Nice! No! What could have happened? Who knows? She was making everybody nervous. Good. She annoys me at every step, so... even Kureno was treading lightly so as to not set her off. Sorry, this was kind of my fault. Would you shut up? Sighed the knight, my statement without station. Actually, it's her fault, let's face it. It's your fault, Saya. That's a fact. She looked focused on her magazine, but the speed of her response told me otherwise. It wouldn't matter what I tried to say, it didn't seem like I'd be able to calm her down for a moment. Kurona glanced outside as she said this. A thick layer of clouds hung in the sky, turning this afternoon gloomy. Maybe she decided not to come today. I wouldn't blame her after what had happened. I tried texting her a few times, but she hadn't responded. I figured she was either depressed, angry, or both. She made a trip here from Amahai almost every day for her not to come. Things had to be pretty serious. Eh? She did? She's at the place, isn't she? We had a meetup only a few days away, and we'd invited a bunch of non-members to come. We're planning on making a presentation about Project Starlight to all the adults we'd invited, so it was kind of a big deal for us. Yeah, I get. She's in the train car. She never mentioned anything to me. I hadn't heard anything from her. It didn't even look like she was reading the messages I sent. It wasn't like today was the last chance to get ready for the stargazing event, but it sounded like she was doing it on her own to avoid us. I had an uncomfortable feeling as I looked over to stare out the window. Thick dark clouds were starting to form in the sky overhead. It was going to rain tonight. Really? Come on, man, you know what? Oh, okay, you do know, like, nice. I sighed as I stepped back to count all the blankets, flashlights, and other supplies I'd gathered. I guess we are Hikari now. It had been tough carrying all this here by myself. There were going to be a lot of non-members and adults from surrounding area coming. Probably. We'd gotten help from Miss Saotome and the others to invite as many people as possible. We took as much help as we could to get to benefit Project Starlight. This would be the second 6 Stars Club event with attendees who weren't part of the club. The first time had been the Pleiades Ichigo's first light event. The event had been a success, but there were still things that could have gone better. So we'd taken the basic plan for that one and used it to come up with the current plan. We wanted it to be even more of a success than last time. I did not mean to click well. I went outside and noticed that even though it wasn't that late, it looked gloomy. Even the best of times, this quiet abandoned station looked faded and dull. Being here alone felt a little strange. Hey? It was a terrifying thought, but part of me desired just that. To just stop and remain in a world without time. Catching bugs in the forest and fishing in the river during summer, eating good food under the leaves in fall, running around despite the cold in the winter. Yeah, those were the good times, I agree. Then spring would come and make me nervous. A part of me always felt and sad that another year had gone by. The stars changed depending on the season too. Ever since I started looking at the stars, I could feel the passing of the seasons by the positions of the constellations. Meteor showers, lunar eclipses, even phenomena like star eclipses that most regular people are completely unaware of. Our days were filled with exciting events that I always believed would continue on and on without end. But just as the stars can't help but continue their dance through the sky, people can't remain children forever. Yeah. Without noticing the changes, people grow up a little at a time. Although I'm losing little things, some important, some not so much, like trinkets falling through a hole in your pocket. Sadly enough. I feel like a being that had transcended time as I placed my hand on the train car that sat there, unchanged from what it had looked like back then.
どうして恋なんて面倒なことするのかな。ずっと子供のままいられたらそれで楽しかったじゃんか。あんたも覚えてるでしょ。
The only answer I was met with was silence. Or was it? I wonder what Saya or Akito would have to say if I asked them the same question. Who cares about Saya, honestly? Uh-oh, it's raining. I felt something cold land on the back of my hand, so I looked up. Thick, dark rain clouds stretched out above me in all directions. I felt another drop land on my cheek.
やば、降ってきちゃった。ない、ない、忘れてきた。
An umbrella? Let's see if we can find an umbrella here. Quite honestly, I can say I don't see one. I should have had a collapsible umbrella in my bag, but I couldn't find it.
この間荷物になるからって下駄箱にしまっちゃったんだ。
Yikes. I looked out through the fog-tap window. It was still only a drizzle and I wasn't worried about getting a little wet. I picked up my bag and hurried out of the old train car. Oof. I sprinted back into the train and began to wring the water from my sleeves and skirt. I went to get back to the station before the rain got worse, but it had turned into a downpour before I could get very far and I ended up turning back. I tried using my bag as a makeshift umbrella, but it hadn't helped much. Both my pigtails were heavy with water. Dude, she was out for like a second. It was like the skies had burst and all the rain was coming at once. A small river was now running along the abandoned platform. I pulled out a handkerchief and began trying to dry myself off. There was no way I was going to get dry without a bath towel, which I would not be surprised was actually there somewhere. It was cold and my wet clothes clung to me. I grabbed one of the blankets I'd brought for the event and wrapped it around myself. Dude, everything is going wrong. I was going to check the weather report to see how long this rain would last, but my phone decided to fail me in my time of need. Not only could I not call anybody, but I couldn't even pass the time by listening to music or surfing the web. My mood sunk. I knew that it was supposed to rain today, but I'd been too busy thinking about how awkward it would be to see Saya and Akito that I'd ended up coming out here on my own. Stella, you could have at least double-checked to make sure you had your umbrella and enough power in your phone! A certain someone's voice echoed in my head. I scooted over in the corner of the seat and pulled my blanket tighter around me. I need to keep warm and wait out the rain. I couldn't afford to catch a cold now. Meanwhile, I think. No, meanwhile, I started to get sleepy and doze off. My body started to shiver and hug myself tighter. It must be in the wet clothes I was wearing. They were stealing my body heat and lowering my core temperature. Glancing outside, I noticed that it was starting to get dark too. It actually looked like the rain was coming down harder than before too. If it kept up like this. I kind of understand why you would not do that, obviously. And then I realized what kind of person I am, and I would just don't give a damn and I would just walk. Not gonna lie. Funnily enough, I don't really remember ever getting sick because of it raining. Anyway, I probably should have. I mean, I was really going out in a crazy downpours, to be fair. At least crazy for this crappy country of Poland, but you know. Anyway, I probably should have kept going before I would be soaked to the bone, but at least I would have been able to make it down the mountain and get home. Miss Sotome would probably have lent me a towel and a change of clothes. If it got dark, I'd be stuck up here. I might be able to find my way with one of the flashlights, but the steep trails would be muddy. Some spots were probably little rivers by now. Oh, that's Poland for you. A bit of rain and you have rivers everywhere. Really, they can't make roads here. They just can't, do they? They suck at this. Speaking of which, there is one road in here. There was one road in here, right? That, you know, just a little rain and it was completely drenched. Like, the water would be completely stuck on the road, right? And it would be really high. Like, some cars would be basically, I would say even half the wheel under the water, something like that. Kind of ridiculous. So they spent over a year to make it anew, and guess what? They failed! It's so ridiculous. This city sucks, this country sucks. Anyway. Even I knew it would be reckless to try and live in this weather. And then again, Lynx would do this, so I would do this. Because reckless is one of my many middle names. Okay, where is that goddamn Akito? Come on, man, you know. I remembered that I had a half-eaten bar of chocolate in my bag. As I snacked on that, I began to grumble to myself. I knew it was my fault for acting alone like I did. But considering everything that had happened, it was just too much to blame myself for this. I already felt sorry enough for myself. And here I should repeat my line. Both of you to assume that you are as much as a second choice. Anyway. Say had been the one who told me she liked Akito in the first place. I was just trying to help her. So why was she the one getting mad at me? He was the reason everything was getting so complicated. No. Why didn't he just give it a rest and date Saya already? Because she's garbage! Then I could be with both of them as a friend. I'm not going to say this again. So listen very carefully. I'm not joking around when I say this. I truly do like you, Hikari. The most embarrassing part of the memory, the part I didn't want to remember, played back in my head and my face felt hot.
いかも。体がポカポカしてきた。
It was embarrassing to think about it, but it was helping me warm up a bit.
体を温めるためなんだから。
Right. There was nobody around, but I want to make it perfectly clear. That was the only reason I was playing that scene over and over in my head. Got it? It's not like I have feelings for him.
恥ずかしいよ。
Kissing me like that with no warning. I always thought of a kiss as something that happened under a beautiful starry sky after being softly asked if it was okay. But that first kiss had given me more of a heart attack than the first time he'd confessed. I thought my head would explode.
キスって想像してたのと全然違った。
My body was feeling even hotter now. I felt like a locomotive engine that somebody had thrown too much coal into. I was pretty sure steam would start pouring out of my ears now soon. My lips started to tingle. I pressed them into the blanket to stop the sensation. I was growing more and more embarrassed by the second, but this was an emergency, so I had no choice if I was going to stay warm. Right. Keep telling this to yourself. I remained wrapped up in blanket for a bit, battling the shivers that were being caused by my embarrassment. Honestly, this should all be said by her. I mean, I should not be doing anything here. Today should be my day off when it comes to of reading the inside thoughts. We should be reading only Akito's thoughts. Come on. I feel like I would die of embarrassment if I let my guard down. It was warming me up, but as I slowly became used to the overwhelming embarrassment, I felt a blank void begin to form inside.
すごくバカみたいだ。
A bit. I really was an idiot. Why? Because I turned down Akito's confessions. That was the reason I was here, now agonizing over my mixed feelings of embarrassment and pleasure. I might have been better off just dying of embarrassment right then and there. I pulled the blanket so tight that it was almost suffocating. A fizzy feeling of detachment welled up, one where I couldn't feel regret.
だってあいつは親友の好きな男の子。
Oh, stop with this bullshit! I'd known how she felt for a long time. So what? So what? Honestly. It'd been raining that day too.
雨止まないね。そうだね。
I think it been sometime during June of 6th grade. It had suddenly started raining, so and I had forgotten our umbrellas and were stuck after school, staring out the downpour from our classroom. I couldn't remember why, but Akito hadn't been there. Maybe he'd had an umbrella and had run home through the rain without us. Anyway, so and I had been the only two left in the classroom.
雨嫌いだな。濡れるし、ジメジメするし、星も見えないし。ねえ、さや。どうしたの？お腹でも痛い？
The look on her face had made me think that she wasn't feeling well, but she took a deep breath and asked me a completely unrelated question.
光、あっくんのことどう思ってる？アキト？そうだな。バカだなーって思ってるよ。
Thanks.
そういうんじゃなくて。違うの？好きなのかなって。好きだよ。やっぱりそうなんだ。じゃあなきゃ一緒に遊ばないよ。さやのことも好きだよ。ありがとう。でもね、そういうんじゃなくてね。 何言ってるかわかんないよ。私ね、はっくんが。
To be honest, even after she told me how she felt, I still didn't really get it. I was just a kid, I didn't have any clue about things like love. But Saya looked so cute, turning red while she told me how she felt about Akita. I remember feeling a throbbing deep in my chest. Which means you had feelings, and that caused certain area to grow. Anyway, when the other one basically truly doesn't have feelings, and that's why nothing grew there. Anyway, that's when I decided to help her however I could. That sucks. She was my best friend after all. Not understanding what love was, however, it ended up being a little more than I could handle. I did things like pass drinks around Saya and I could use the same straw or make her fall over so he'd have to catch her. I just like Akito told me before, my methods of assassinating were crude and ineffective. Assassinate? I mean, it was kind of assassinating, yeah. Assisting. Besides, well, clearly he didn't have any feelings for her. At some point along the way, a strange feeling awakened inside of me. Clouds hung heavy in the sky, looking as if it might even start snowing. I was hiding on the train car, but the icy wind still found its way in, making me shiver. I felt something soft and warm on the back of my neck that made me look up. Put that on. His speech was blunt. But he'd given me his scarf. I remember still being warm from his body. They said dummies don't catch cold, but I wouldn't let your guard down this year. I would never.
そうじゃない。あんたの方がバカでしょうが。こないだの算数のテスト32点だったくせに。
Out of 32, I hope. Man, it really is freezing. Akito was huddled up on a seat in the corner where the draft wasn't as strong.
ったく、失礼なやつだな。
I grumbled slightly under my breath even as I was soaking up the warmth from the scarf he'd given to me. By that time, I had already been slightly aware of the new sensation growing inside of me. I'd known what it was all as well. I'd already fallen in love with Akito. Are you being serious? I mean, I knew it all, but it still annoys me. Because she's like holding back with that. God damn it. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to. Give me a second. Ah. Now we are talking.
雪だ。降ってきたよ、アキト。
Seriously. But it was already too late. Saya had already told me how she felt. No, it was not too late. God damn it.
積もるかな。積もったら雪合戦しようね。
Don't expect me to go soft. Honestly, if you think about it, you can dude, I'm...
確かあの日、アキト風邪ひいたんだよね。
You can think I use this as every possible chance to, you know, attack Saya and so on, but if you think about it, Saya definitely knew that Hikari had some feelings for Akito, right? And okay, not important text message. And she knew Saya's kind of personality. So by telling Hikari, listen, I have feelings for him, and so on, she would hold Hikari back. and so on. Is my theory incorrect? I think it is. It kind of can be correct. I think Saya is a bad person deep inside down. Deep inside. Anyway. He got pretty sick too, and all because he lent me his scarf. I remember going to visit him and taking some strawberry shortcake. We ended up eating it together and tasted great. No. The dummies don't catch the colds. Back then, I wasn't sure of my own feelings. After all, it had been the first time I ever felt love. Actually, that wasn't true. Even now, I still wasn't sure if the strange feeling roiling around inside me was actually love or not. It might be love, or it might have been something completely different. The only thing I knew was that I needed to hide it. No! Who cares? According to Hikari, she was cute. The way her love for Akido made her act. Nah. She'd always been more girlish than me. But her girlish charm seemed to grow stronger as her feeling for Akido also grew. What charm? No! Dude. No. Watching the way she acted toward him is what made me realize I had those same feelings. Saya is the reason I was able to fall in love. I thought that maybe I was just trying to imitate her fault. She'd always been so ladylike. I looked up to her in that respect. Even if it had been okay for me to show my feelings on the outside, I still decided to keep them hidden. What is wrong with you? Don't do it. Bullshit. He always treated me like another one of the guys. No! Maybe. I guess it wasn't his fault, for back then I always did act like one of the boys. Maybe things would have been different if I'd had even a tenth of the girliness of Saya. No! Oh my god! Like, what do you not get? He doesn't feel anything for Saya. Come on! Hikari! But that's why I decided to support her instead, which is a terrible thing to do. No matter what we did for, Akido never seemed to notice how Saya felt. After all, he'd still been a kid as well. Or, how about you realize he doesn't have any feelings for her? God damn it. Back then, we'd been keeping a planetary observation journal in an attempt to win the citywide independent research contest. We'd been working on it for almost a year. It was nearly complete. It also meant that the day I would have to move away of approaching. I knew this because of my sister. Even if everything went as planned and they cancelled the dam's construction, the railroad would still shut down. I continued working on the journal with them, however I was having too much fun to stop. The three of us were traveling the galaxy together. But even that journey would soon be coming to an end. I would have to get off before our train reached its destination. If that was the case, I want to at least help Saya express her feelings before I was gone. Why hadn't Akido realized how she felt toward him? I started wondering if maybe it was my fault for always being in the way. No! Whenever I was around, we'd all start acting silly. Akido was shy as well, so I figured the atmosphere would never be right for them while I was there. Hey? That's why that day. How about tonight? Now that we're on vacation, we can stargaze all night. Hikari? Heh. So you're not coming? But we've been looking forward to winter vacation for ages. What's wrong with today? Did you eat something weird? I felt a slight pain in my chest seeing the perplexed look on Akito's face. I thought that maybe I was about to do something that could never be undone.
星とか見るのもう飽きちゃったんだ。だからもういいやって。ノートももう完成してるし、あとはさやと二人でやりなよ。じゃあね。
おい、wait, Hikari!
ひかりちゃん。
Yada. Just thinking about it made my chest ache again. I really heard them that day. Especially Akito. Yeah. I mean, I think of a situation over there clearly said who he actually wanted to watch the stars with, doesn't it? Let's face it, Hikari, it's always been about you, okay? One of my best friends and the boy that I liked. Who? And they said with the journal was not too long after that. From then on, Akito and I just stopped talking to each other. Akito started hanging out with Takeichi and the other boys, while Sai and I started hanging out, just the two of us. It stayed that way until the day we graduated. After the ceremony I waited for Akito on the bridge we always used. I stared down the love letter in my hand with a feeling of melancholy. Sai had written it. During the period oh my god, Sai. Now that I think about it, this is so annoying still. Like, I'm telling you, Saya knew all along. And she used Hikari this way. Like, she's a terrible person. During the period Akito and I had been speaking, Saya had written a letter and tried to give it to him on more than one occasion, and I highly doubt she tried. She was too shy for, and was never able to do it. Right, of course. So I ended up taking the letter to give to him in her place. Ridiculous. It was the last big job I had to do before leaving Mikazuki village. Somewhere in the corner of my heart thought there was a part of me that didn't want to give it to him. If I was the one to give him the letter, I would be giving up my own feelings toward him. That's how I had felt. How dare you even think that? Even the envelope with the bunny sticker on it looked cute and girlish. I would never be able to match that. Even if I wasn't moving away, there would have been no chance for me. In every sense, my first love had been over before it had even started. And if that was the case, I could at least help my friend's wish come true. No. Akio had finally shown up, and he was alone. I hopped down from the guardrail where I'd been sitting swinging my legs. I was about to say something, but it'd been a while since we'd spoken. I was nervous, but also a little happy. But he completely ignored me and kept on walking. I couldn't blame him, I guess. We had been in the middle of a fight. I scrubbed my courage and called out his name. He stopped and turned around to look at me. What do you want? At the very least, I had to tell him how Saya felt, so I thrust the letter at him. Aki looked at me suspiciously but took it. What's this? I felt like I was about to burst, so the moment I got the words out, I turned and ran away. I didn't even remember to tell him who the letter was from, let alone repair our friendship before I had to move away. That's the day I had given up my feelings of love. It had been my own choice. Yet still. Now would be a convenient moment for him to appear, right? I hugged my knees, still huddled up in the dark and gloomy train car that time had forgotten. I felt lonely. And sad. And the pain in my chest was growing. Why had I given up my feelings back then? Why had I decided to let somebody else have them instead? Exactly. And now, yes? Hikari! The rain was coming down so hard that I couldn't tell if my umbrella was doing me any good or not, but I finally made it to the old train station. Water was raining down the platform in little rivers. I ran into the train car. I felt up my umbrella and peered around. After a moment, I could hear the sound of soft crying mixed with the rain. Somebody who was huddled on a seat in the far corner. Hikari! Hikari raised her face and looked at me with an expression of utter disbelief. So I was right. I thought she might be here, and there she was. Crouched along the corner of the dark train car, no less. The blanket sheet had wrapped around herself was quickly forgotten as she jumped to her feet. Huh? And he's like, what? Huh? Hikari flung her arms around me. Eh? What? She must have felt completely helpless up here alone. She clung tighter to me and continued to cry. I turned the embrace. She felt so cold. She must have gotten wet in the rain. Why not? It's alright. I'm here. I hugged her tighter and began rubbing her shoulders dry and warm her up a little. I was hot from running all the way up here, and Hikari's chilled body actually felt good against mine. It's alright. I continued to share some of my warmth as I waited for her to calm down. After a while, she finally stopped crying. Are you alright now? I looked into her eyes as I asked, but she backed away without answering. She looked sullen as she averted her eyes. Hikari? I was worried about you. I thought you might have come up here so I came to check. Then I find you crying. Why didn't you pick up your phone? I'd never been that much of a hurry or gotten that wet in my life. Your phone. I tried calling you 1,000 times. I wasn't sure if she was just trying. For fuck's sake. There she goes again. I wasn't sure if she was just trying to hide her embarrassment or what, but Hikari's attitude suddenly became distant. Is that really something somebody who is just bawling her eyes out is allowed to say? I came all the way up here because I was worried sick about you, got it? It had started raining when I reached the dam. It kept getting stronger and stronger, and running up the path hadn't been easy. I hadn't had any proof that she was actually even here either. Now I was standing here, soaking wet, except for the small part of my upper body that I'd been able to protect with an umbrella. Oh my god, shut up about Saya! Who cares about her? Nobody. Okay, maybe her parents, but still. You're still on about that. You don't get to decide who I date. I kind of do, but you kind of do, because, I mean, I want you, but I'm not dating her, got it. Got it, so my feelings don't count. Got it, cool. No, she's not! How should I know the reason? Suddenly raised my voice and shouted, then inclined my head, wondering why we're talking about this now. All I'd wanted to do was make sure that Hikari hadn't been stuck up here all alone in the rain. I don't know how you feel, but I caught myself and swallowed my next words. Never mind. I promised you before that it was the last time. My conversion to Balsk had been my last. I made that promise. My feelings hadn't changed, of course, and I had no plans to fall in love with any other girl, so that had been the last confession I'd ever make. This guy. I like this guy. I like this guy, okay? I like this guy. With what he had just said. Oh, I like this guy. And those are three feelings. Fine then. Sorry for pushing. Forget about me if you want, but at least fix things with Saya. After that said this, I handed an umbrella and I've been using to Hikari. I'll see you later. I ignored her as I ran back out into the downpour. Akito ran back out in the storm without an umbrella. I stood in the doorway for a little while before finally making my way back in the corner and sitting down. Woman. It had felt so warm when I was hugging Akito. Almost hot. I needed to wrap up in the blanket again before all the heat in me escaped. But I kept glancing back at the door instead. I never thought he would actually take off and leave me here. I figured he'd grumble a bit, but stay here with me. How stupid of me. I still have to expect him to come walking back through the door at any moment. He'd been that way since the first time I'd met him. He'd been the one who had helped me save Kotaro when I found him floating down the river in a cardboard box. It had been his first day at the new school, but he had still gotten his pants wet in the river just to help me. He was normally blunt and a bit shy around girls, but he never hesitated to lend a hand to somebody in trouble. Even today, he'd come all the way up here in the pouring rain just to make sure I was okay. And, you know, he probably wouldn't do that for just anyone, right? There was no sign of him coming back. And there was no way he could hide somewhere nearby and still see me through the heavy rain. Had he really gone home? Had he finally grown fed up with me for being such an obstinate jerk? Never mind. I promised before that it was the last time. I mean, if you were true to yourself, it would not be truth. Anyway. Alright, yeah. It's time for you to chase for once. Thank you. I grabbed the umbrella that he'd left me and ran outside. I stopped on the platform, fat raindrops still pouring down in sheets. I stared out into the distance but could only see a rainy haze. There was no sign of Akito. I was crying as I screamed out into the rain. The words that I want to say for so long but never could. I was just about to run after him through the rain, but... Do you really mean that? I turned around. He was on the stop! Oh my god! Akito was sitting under a covered waiting area on the platform, for the roof was nearly gone. He had thoroughly fooled me after all. Okay, I did not see that coming as well, to be fair. Despite it all, I couldn't hold it any longer. Finally! Ugh. Caught off guard. I thought he was only going to hug me, but my words were kind of as something warm pressed against my lips. I hadn't finished speaking. I hadn't yet said it enough. I don't tell him everything I liked about him and how hard it had been to keep it all bottled up for so long. But then I was physically unable to speak. If that was the case, then I would just have to let him know without words. I pressed my lips harder against his. I was as good as the actresses in those movies and or TV shows. You don't know if they are good at that for... Let's face it. It was a terrible kiss. So what? but I didn't know how to do any better. It was the first time I kissed anybody by choice. I wrapped my one free hand around Akira and pulled him closer. I was suddenly aware of the hand gripping the umbrella. It was shaking and doing a poor job of holding the umbrella up. I considered just letting it fall. Akira had both hands free to wrap around me as much as he wanted. He caressed my back and one hand even wandered down to the butt. I was surprised, but I didn't want him to stop. Anyway, I pulled my lips back just enough to speak. I couldn't tell if he meant to tease or not, but he remained silent. I was looking at him timidly, but he looked back at me with nothing but affection and whispered, "I love you." More than you know, Hikari. More than you know. As soon as he said this, he couldn't hold himself back any longer. He pulled me into another deep kiss. It was an awkward, clumsy kiss, which is a normal thing for teenagers. The cold rain was falling on us now, but my lips felt so hot that I thought they might get burned. Also, I feel so weird having to read this as Hikari now. Damn it! We're soaked. We'd gone back in the train car, and I was once again fully aware of the wave of the wet clothes clinging to my skin. Hikari didn't say anything as she pulled out the handkerchief and began drying off my face and the back of my neck. Okay, I know we confessed, but you know, that's going pretty far. Hikari's face turned red, and she turned around. You're probably right. I kept telling myself it was dark and we couldn't see, but my heart was beating fast. With Hikari facing the other way, I stripped off my clothes and hung them to dry on the back of the seat. Hikari sat down the nearby seat and opened her blanket. Yeah. I sat down next to her and we curled up together under the blanket. The blanket trapped Hikari's body warmth inside it. And it was very warm, yeah. You're so warm, Hikari! Discovered before the net. The other time we had been on the roof of the train car. Hikari pressed herself against me. She entwined our arms in the blanket, forcing our bodies together. Feeling Hikari's heat against my skin was almost too hot. Yeah. Hikari had taken off her wet jacket, and all she was wearing was a thin blouse. I could feel not only heat but softness as well. The feeling I had while kissing and holding her before I rose up again. Can we get closer? I asked it, but slid my hand around Hikari's hips without waiting for a reply. Cheeky little bastard! I held Hikari close under her blanket. Why, it's super warm like this? We both went quiet and just held each other. I felt like the temperature under the blanket kept rising and rising. I couldn't help getting excited, so I put my lips to Hikari's ear and whispered, I love you. I could feel Hikari's body shiver next to mine. I wanted her so much I couldn't stand it. As I held her, I wrapped my cheek on hers. I don't know what you're talking about. You are clearly just hugging there. And sharing your own feelings. That's all about it. Hikari's chest had been touching the arm I had wrapped around her. I held her in this tight space so as not to move the blanket off, so I naturally pressed against her.
わざとやってない？
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't help it in this position. It's not on purpose. It is. It is.
本当かな？
Rustle, rustle, rustle.
ほら、やっぱりわざとやってるでしょ？
Your body is so soft, Hikari. It feels good like this.
人をデブみたいに言うな。太ってるのは胸だけだもん。
Perfect information, okay? She was cute when she was angry. Owned Hikari even more after that and wrapped my cheek on hers while holding her.
ねえ、アキトはさっきのまた言って。耳元で聞き取ろ。
She was still talking, okay. I put my lips to Hikari's ear. I love you. Hikari wrapped her body like I was tickling a sensitive spot. Because of that, her chest pressed against my arm again. I like you, Hikari.
アキトに好きってささやかれると頭がぼーっとしてきちゃう。
You're cute, Hikari, that's why I like you.
私も好き。
Yes. I love how nice you are to hold. Again, rustling.
こら、調子に乗るな。
I joked around and Hikari tried to push me away. I held Hikari tight so she couldn't get away. Then I put my lips to her ear and I didn't whisper, I just kissed her. Nice.
キスは耳じゃなく唇にするものでしょ？
Ooh. I kissed from her ear to her cheek, then down to her neck, then slowly I moved to her mouth.
いやらしい。絶対調子に乗ってるよ。
Don't worry, we are keeping it just to that for. Hikari, don't worry. I also need to think of my YouTube, okay? We are just keeping to that. Hikari mussed up my hair while she shivered.
すごくドキドキする。
I could feel Hikari's heartbeat in my chest. You're not kidding, huh? What's the matter? Why are you quiet?
さっきからわざとやってるでしょ。私が恥ずかしがるのを見て楽しんでるんだ。
You bet I do. You're right, I'm doing it on purpose, but I'm not enjoying your embarrassment. I gently held on to Hikari. You're so adorable, I can't stand it. This is a first for me. I don't know what to do.
アキトの好きにすればいいと思う。何？
It's just I didn't expect it, Hikari. You must be thinking something naughty.
違うもん。私はアキトが好きなだけだもん。アキトのすることだったら大体なんだって嬉しいだけだもん。
And a kiss. I held Hikari close again and pressed my lips against hers. Yes. The intense kiss was less clumsy than the first. The kiss intensified, each of us letting the other know how strong our desire was. For a while we forgot ourselves and covered each other's lips. It's amazing. You as a whole and your chest and so on. Anyway. Each time we kissed, I wanted to get closer, but her chest was almost an obstacle. What do you mean? Touching it, I felt that it was so more voluminous than it looked. You were so flat when we were kids. Just like Sai Eyes now. Anyway, That was a comment, okay, from me. Not him saying this at this very moment, okay? Anyway, I had also changed as a man. It had only been a couple of years and she had changed this much. Girls are so strange.
アキトがさっきから私のことをやらしい目で見てくる。
Like you are the one to talk. Anyway, her words were accusing, but her tone sounded happy somehow. Do you like being looked at like that? Hikari went quiet. Or do you not like it? The mix of desire and anxiety I felt may have made me a little afraid. Hikari shook her head.
嫌じゃない。でも、照れちゃうよ。だって、私のことなんか、女の子として見てもらえてないって思ってたもん。
What? But you're such a girl.
おっぱいだけ褒められてるみたいでやだ。
I'm not. Not only that, you're so good, Hikari, with such a good body, and you're really ladylike on the inside. She knew that from my earlier teasing confession. Your lips are so soft when we kiss. So I kiss her at this very moment.
もう、キスしたら何でもごまかせるって思ってない？
Can I not? I joked, but Hikari looked at me with sulking eyes.
好きって言ってからまあ。
You are easy. Without thinking, I laughed.
超ロくないキスはあと100回しなきゃダメよ。
She said this, then poofed out her lips. I stroked Hikari's cheek. Love you. I said this to accompany the kiss. It's so nice when things go right for once. The sun set at some point and our bodies were touching the darkened train car. The aftertaste of the 100 kisses remained. Wow! You actually... Okay. Our hearts and bodies were filled with the joy of telling someone we liked them and sharing heat and feelings with them. So we sat almost wordlessly on the seat, holding hands with our shoulders together. That was all we needed. What I need is to turn on the fan. Dude, summer is coming, okay? Summer is coming, it's annoying. I can honestly say I really do miss winter. It's at least it's not so freaking hot here. Anyway, that was all we needed. But the heat gradually dissipated. There was so much heat before, but it had gotten chilly. I put the blanket up to my shoulders. Hikari snuggled her head against my shoulder.
いっぱいキスしちゃったね。アキト、すっごい激しかった。
Sorry, I wasn't really thinking. Kind of, maybe a good thing. I mean, when you actually have both feelings for yourself, obviously, but... No. You allowed the feelings to come through, I guess, that way? Anyway. As I calm down, I start to worry that maybe I overdid some things for... Dude, it was only kissing, it's fine.
ちょっとびっくりしたけど、でも、嫌じゃなかったよ。
Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Well, I'm glad. You're very pretty into it too, Hikari.
だって、嬉しかったんだもん。
Yes!
アキトが私のこと、エッチな目で見てくれるのが。
Cause you are. Isn't that something you normally hate?
アキト以外だと嫌だけど。
Yes! For the win!
私、ずっとアキトに女の子として見てもらえてないって思ってたから。
How could you even think that?
エッチな目で見るってことは、女の子扱いしてくれてるってことでしょ？
Well, duh! Hikari looked up at me and asked, like she was worried for some reason. I planted a light kiss on Hikari's forehead. You're a really cute girl, Hikari.
照れる。 私にも女の魅力が少しはあったんだね。
Obviously. I was only surprised when I saw you again. I thought, is that really Hikari?
それって子供の頃はやっぱり女の子扱いしてなかったってことじゃ。
Well, honestly, we had spent those days not worrying about who was a boy or a girl. The fact that Hikari had been especially boisterous and played more like a boy and only exacerbated it.
あの頃に告白してたら振られてたってことじゃん。危なかった。
I mean, no. You never know that. You don't know that. When I was a kid, it would be impossible even to force me to talk about love. But I don't think I would have felt bad if Hikari had told me she liked me. In fact, knowing how Hikari felt may have started feelings in me too. I would have liked to have seen the Hikari I played with, as the kid slowly changed to Hikari the girl. What's with that look?
もしかしてアキトが私に感じてる女の子らしさって胸だけじゃないの？
No, that's not what I meant. I had to correct myself. That was the thing that had changed the most, but it wasn't the only thing. More than that has... for fuck's sake, what do you want? Give me a second, because I ordered something and I seem to have some freaking message. Okay, this is the document for sending. And the other one is, oh, hello, we hope you're happy with your order. Dude, yes, I am. I ordered this thing a few weeks ago. It works. It's fine. By that I mean a freaking car FM transmitter. It works well. Anyway, more than that has become girly. You look good with long hair now, and you're so soft to hold. Your face that's always been cute. He just said your face always been cute. Did you notice that? Embrace Hikari drilled her head into my shoulder. It was cute and girly that she got shy over such trivial things. Yeah, me too. We held each other again, feeling each other's heat and breath. Hikari noticed something and raised her face. What's up? Hikari was looking out the window and listening. I did the same and noticed too. We stepped outside to find that the rain had completely stopped. Oh yeah, they did mention that before, that it would be good if it rains, so the sky would clear up, right? I guess it did happen now. Nice. The stars shone the cloudless sky. Yeah. We touched shoulders again. We weren't able to do this naturally a little while ago. We weren't ashamed of anything mirror because now we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Yes! I put my arm around Hikari's shoulders and looked up at the stars. In a high point in the sky, I could see the great square of Pegasus. The star shining red near where must have been Mars. You know what I'm missing? It's only happened once, unfortunately. How the game was showing exactly where each star or whatever is located. It only happened once when we were looking at the sky with the entire group of people, right? It should have been a thing for every situation when we look at the sky in this game. Anyway. The starry sky was pretty. The mood was perfect too, kind of emotional. However, it was night and the temperature had dropped quite a bit. The wind was blowing, so standing there with no warm clothes made us cold. Actually, now that I think about it, Akito doesn't have clothes basically. Anyway, now that the rain stopped, we can go home. Why don't you come to my place? If it's Hikari, I'm sure it'll be fine. For it would probably upset Miss Miharu.
でも無理すればまだ帰れるかな。
You don't have to rush, you can just stay in my room. I held her hand, so Hikari looked up at me curiously. I want to be with you until morning.
おお、そうだね。
With her face flushed red, Hikari agreed to my suggestion. Okay, it's turning into the morning, so let's cut it right here. Yeah, let's cut it right here, right now. I believe we are waking her up and so on. We'll see where this is going in the next episode coming out tomorrow on PolishLynx YouTube channel. I know I said it like that, whatever. Ah, that was finally. I've gotten what I was waiting for. Damn. Finally. That's all I have to say. Finally, man. Also, as I said, the moment Akito said this thing himself, this guy just rose in me as a protagonist of a goddamn visual novels. I like that. My feelings hadn't changed, of course, and I had no plans on falling in love with any other girl. So that had been the last confession I'd ever make. Huge respect for him for that. Huge. Because that's something I would say as well when it comes to true love, for sure. You know, well, when you truly fall in love, okay? You just know that. It's funny, but you do know, and with what he said, huge respect for him. Actually, he didn't say that, he thought that, but still huge respect. And that's about it. Anyway, I always believed that Hikari was the one for him. If anything, sorry, but Saya just doesn't work. She just doesn't work. I know Story tries to force her on us. Even Hikari tried to force her on us, but no. It's a no, okay? She just doesn't work. And so on. Anyway, let's cut it right here. I'm gonna work out actually right now, a little bit. And maybe afterwards we'll record the second episode for tomorrow. We'll see. We will see if I can manage that. With that being said, hope you all enjoyed this episode of Sky Full of Stars. We'll meet each other hopefully tomorrow too, to see where this is going. I'm curious how this will exactly end. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking it. I think it was a good one, actually. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, of course. We need to grow this channel still, somehow. Even though YouTube really doesn't like it. YouTube really doesn't like putting that channel out like to the main page or whatever. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Now that I think about it, YouTube really is a crappy platform. With that being said, there is also Twitch, Twitter, Instagram in the description. If you're into that stuff, follow me there as well. And with that being said, let's end the episode. Again, hope you all have a wonderful day and drop by tomorrow too. Bye bye.